Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you. But I was not getting any voice, that's why I just corrected my audio device once again. So, namaste, all co-explorers, those who are joined. This is the follow-up meeting of the eSIP, which was conducted in November 2020 by the AICTE-SIP directly during the COVID time. Once that is finished, every Wednesday we meet in this platform from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. to have clarity with the content of UHV 1, which is offered in the SIP in the AICTE institutions. And also sharing from the participants, from the students to be specific, because many students who have joined in the eSIP at that time and later students workshops, some of them join in such kind of meetings. And this also is live streamed through the YouTube. So participants are there in the YouTube channel also. And the video link also will be available once we finish this meeting. So many other students are watching it later. So we have been discussing the content with 3 or 4 slides per day, just like that, or per week. Now we have been discussing this session on other feelings. So we have been discussing regarding this excellence and competence in the last Wednesday's meeting. So there has been a lot of explorations last Wednesday also regarding this excellence and competition. So what is desirable? That is what we have been discussing, excellence or competition. Yeah. We have seen that the excellence is what is desirable because in competition, I have to be above others. I am special and we are opposed to each other. This notion is there. Whereas in excellence, the other is like me. We are complementary to each other. So there is a feeling of relationship in excellence and there is a feeling of opposition in competition. When I try to be the best, one of us can only be the best. When from among a group of students, one tries to become the best or the first in the class, then there is always a feeling of opposition. I try to oppose the others, but when we are trying to excel, we share this information with every other human being. So in excellence, we try to help others to come to my level or come to his level, whereas in competition, one hinders the other to come to his level. And effort to accentuate the difference, to dominate, to manipulate, to exploit. In excellence, one operates on the basis of his natural acceptance, and that is definite. So this excellence is nothing but understanding harmony at all the 4 levels and helping the other with the feeling of complementarity, feeling that the other is like me. But when we compete with each other, one operates on the basis of his assumptions without right understanding. So the assumptions may change without right understanding. That is what we have discussed in the workshop. In excellence, we have this right evaluation of oneself, respect on oneself. We can see that this feeling of right evaluation is there with me as well as the other human being in the self. But in competition, I try to over-evaluate myself because I want to be the best, if I want to be the best, or under-evaluate myself or the other. So this happens in over-evaluation, in competition, over-evaluation or under-evaluation happens. In excellence, we see we are self-referential. So the feeling is the conduct is definite. So we are self-referential and we have a holistic view. Whereas in competition, reference is the other, may have piecemeal approach. So there is no holistic approach, but there is piecemeal approach in this competition. And as we have discussed in the last Wednesday, excellence is absolute. There is a definite completion point in excellence, whereas in competition, it is relative. There is no definite completion point. So these are some of the proposals which we have discussed last Wednesday with regard to excellence and competition. And we have a lot of explorations also in the last Wednesday. If any one of you would like to share something with regard to your experience with regard to excellence and competition, because this is very relevant in the colleges, in the higher education level. Also in the school education level, it is important whether the students are being guided to excel or are they being guided to compete with each other. We have discussed the case of the competitive examinations also last Wednesday. There is some way of evaluation that is required, but at the same time, before we actually go into the competitive examination, we can help each other to improve skills as well as competence, to improve the right understanding and also to improve the skills. Skills is only a very small part of competence, but this also we can work upon. Yeah. So this is a brief recap of what we have discussed in the last Wednesday's meeting. With regard to this, if there is any sharing, any experiential validation, you can take it. Yeah, mic has been given to many of the participants. If anyone wish to speak, you can raise the hand or you can, unmute and speak. Anuji?
Sir, yes, sir, this is Dr. Anu here. Actually, like I have already attended level 1 and I have been in my excellence level only, like complimenting each other and all that. But sometimes I'm cornered to a situation where the person opposite to me, they would like to compete, but which I have never felt it that way. They think that I am a competition for them. So how do I handle that person at that point of time?
Yeah, when the other is competing with me, is my feeling changing?
No. I'm not being affected. I'm like, I can understand they are feeling a little insecure and they're feeling that I'm being a little superior. It is just their perception. So within me, I'm not affected. But then how do I handle the external environment?
Yeah, if you are not affected, there is nothing to handle. If you are not affected within yourself, if your feelings are not affected, there is nothing to handle as far as you are concerned. But
in external environment, I have to respond, right? It's not reacting. I have to respond to a situation.
True, that's what I am coming to. So as far as you are concerned, you are self-referential, as we discuss here. But we can see that in our evaluation of mutual competence, the other is lacking this right understanding. And the other is lacking this competence.
I'm trying to help them, but I
that
do
is what
help.
We can do. That is what we can do, Anuji. We can try to help the other, but whether the other person is taking it in the right way, right sense or not, is rested upon the other. We can try. We can create an environment, conducive environment to talk to the other person, interact with the other person, and try to help them.
I'll give you a simple example, like what I have come across quite recently. There was a presentation on stage where myself and one of my other colleagues, we were like participating, like doing a presentation on 2 different topics. And there is no stage of comparative thing happening. I never felt that way. And that person was a little nervous, and the way they spoke on stage was a little obvious also. And after that, I proceeded, and my presentation went on for more than half an hour. I finished it. And after that got over, the way they were getting along with me was very indifferent, which was not before the session. So it's like the way they speak, the way they respond after the session and before the session. So even though I'm not affected, I have never felt like competing with anybody. I have never felt superior, and I have never taken that pride within. But how do I talk to them and bring them back to
Yeah.
a better communication? I didn't
Yeah.
know how
In
to
this,
exactly handle.
in this situation, how did you respond to the other person?
I
When,
spoke to her very casually,
yeah,
but then
yeah.
she couldn't take it, and she in fact avoided me after the session. And
Okay,
I
that
feel
is
very
fine.
bad.
That is fine. For the time being,
Mm.
that's okay. But let us take some time, and we can talk to the other person regarding the good sides. Anyway, the presentation is having some good sides for sure, some good aspects. It is not that every part is not good. The person may be nervous, but he or she would have presented something good in the good sense. So we can
Yeah,
correct
I
that out.
actually I complimented, ma'am, that was
Compliment,
really
yeah,
nice.
right.
I complimented, and I have never felt like that. But the way they talk and the way they receive I felt like maybe they were feeling that I'm being competitive.
Mm,
The other
mm.
body language and the way you avoid a person, which was not before the session. So
We can see
something.
that that is because of lack of right understanding in the other person. So with time, we can help them. Maybe immediately it may not work out because the person may be in a feeling of opposition, maybe in a feeling of jealousy. That we can see. But let us try to, as you rightly pointed out, we can compliment them. Whatever is a good side of the representation, we can project out and we can speak to them regarding that. And
Like
then
just
once they
give
are in
some
line
time
with,
to them, and so
yeah,
that they
just
get back to some
just
normal.
give some time
Okay.
to them. Yeah, yeah.
No, that's what I
With
thought.
time,
Maybe I don't know whether I was correct. Okay.
you are very right, very true, very correct. So with time, this will settle down.
Okay,
Yeah,
sir. Okay.
she will come back to maybe he or she will come back to his or her natural acceptance, and we can also
Okay.
help them to. So once they are ready to come back to their natural acceptance, we can help them to bring their attention back to the natural acceptance, and then it is easy to talk to them.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Thank
that's it.
you.
But the very important thing is that we don't need to be disturbed, and you are not disturbed at all. That is a very nice thing.
Yeah, I didn't get this, sir, but I was able to observe and I was able to understand what the other person is going through.
Very good. Nice, Didi. Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Nice sharing by Anuji. That this happens quite often, right? So when people uh, maybe when we try to excel, try to help others also to improve their competence, there may be some other person who may be trying to compete, who may be trying to become, say, on the top of the list or on the top of the particular activity. So when they can see that that is not happening, then this kind of a feeling can happen. Maybe that you can call that as jealousy, a feeling of opposition, or whatever. That is an absence of what we call as affection. So we can play our role over there, as Anuji rightly pointed out. We don't need to be disturbed. We can ensure that the feelings within us are naturally acceptable. We don't need to go into a state of opposition because of the uh, indifferent behavior by the other person. We can be composed, calm and composed, and be naturally acceptable, having naturally acceptable feelings. And whenever time comes, so we can say after maybe a short span of time, the other person may be ready to come back to his or her natural acceptance. So we can just utilize this particular opportunity and try to help that. Very nice, Anuji. This just to to bring out this particular incident before this particular session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I could see that somebody else also had unmuted, but now I cannot see. If anyone would like to share something with regard to this excellence and competition, we can have it now. Okay. All right. So we will go further. Yeah. So competition and collaboration or cooperation. What is our perception? Does our perception depends upon the worldview? That is, in today's worldview, what do we assume? There is struggle for survival and survival of fittest, or there is relationship of mutual fulfillment in nature? It is good if you can respond to the chat box, A or B. A for there is struggle for survival and survival of the fittest, and B for there is relationship of mutual fulfillment in nature. Bhagyasri Didi is typing B in the chat box. Any other response from anyone? Yeah. Karunakaran G is typing B in the chat box. Vaishali G is typing A in the chat box. Anu G is typing both in the, I would say both in the chat box. Nice. So the response is mixed. We can see what is this in today's worldview. What do we assume? What is this struggle for survival and survival of the fittest? So when we struggle for survival, then the feeling for struggle itself is it disturbing you, or is it putting you in harmony? When you struggle for something, is it putting you in harmony or disharmony? And also, when I say survival of the fittest, yeah, energy is typing disharmony. Survival of the fittest. The word survival or the feeling for survival, is it naturally acceptable to you or not? Vaishali Ji is also typing disharmony. Lilita Ji is typing yes. Yes means, is it naturally acceptable or not? Survival of the fittest. Does it lead to competition or collaboration? You can think in this line, whether when we are for this struggle for survival and survival of the fittest, is it leading to competition or collaboration? When you try to, yeah, competition, Vaishali Ji is typing that. When you are struggling for something, struggling to get something, what is coming to my mind right now is the queue in a cinema theater for this ticket. So people are struggling to get a ticket. I also was entrapped in at some point of time when I was a student. I remember. Nowadays it is online booking, so things are pretty easy. But when this ticket is being sold at the counter in the cinema hall, then we have to go there in time. There is a particular time, maybe half an hour time, at which the tickets are being sold. You have to stand in the queue, but people may rush in from all sides to get a ticket. So there is kind of this struggle for survival and survival of fittest. So there is like a competition. Who is going to get the ticket first? And how many tickets? So just an example only. That is what people do to get a ticket. So is this giving some kind of harmony when you are in the queue? So when I can see when I was in the queue, and when people are pushing from behind, from sides, from front, from all sides, I used to get suffocated. Even if I get a ticket, I feel like tired after that. So after this competing with someone, if I get a ticket for that movie, I feel like very tired when I was in that. Not giving a good feeling at that time. Even though I may be thinking that I got a ticket somehow and I'm going to watch the movie, but still this kind of a pushing of the body from front, back, all sides, it is not giving a good feeling, at least. So the competition is for this struggle and survival of the fittest. But why can't we collaborate? In all aspects, in understanding harmony at all the 4 levels, in understanding skills also in learning subjects. So what we do usually in our college days is whenever there is a subject to be studied for the examination, so maybe a week before the examination, that may be the study leave time, we join together in one of the houses of one of our classmates. We make a group, like 4 or 5 of us, we are part of a group where we study these portions together. So we divide the syllabus into 4 or 5 parts, depending upon the number of participants, number of students in that. And we study each portion which is assigned to us. So once we study this, we share this, like teachers. Others will be listening like students. We ask questions, and the person who has underwent this particular part of that subject will explain things to us. I also will explain my part to others. So this is just like collaboration. And finally, once we do this for maybe we spend like a couple of days at that house, and we share the entire content, whatever is required for that particular examination, just like this. So this is collaboration. There is no competition in that. We share whatever we have learned from whatever sources we have with every other student. And there is a strong bond which is already there. The relationship is already there, but we just try to ensure and just try to improve this bond or that relationship among us by doing so. So we can see that if you collaborate, if you cooperate for a particular thing for right understanding or for understanding the skills, that is enriching this relationship. You can see that is mutual fulfillment is happening there. And there is no struggle for survival, and there is no survival of the fittest. Many a times we can see in this say self-study group or combined study group, somebody may be good at learning, somebody may not be like so. So the level of competence will be different. Ability also will be different to learn skills in different persons. But this also will be passed up once we do a combined study. So this is an example of collaboration I just put before you. If there is other experience from your side, you can also place this. That is mutually enriching. Yeah. You can just ask yourself, when does our understanding grow better? When we help the other to understand? When we try to understand in isolation? When we oppose or misguide the other? Can you place in the chat box A, B, or C? Karnagaranji is typing A. When we help the other understand. Any other response? Yeah. Anuji is typing A in the chat box. Very good. Prashant Swamiji is typing A in the chat box. Very good. So we can see this very easily, that collaboration or cooperation is the best way. When we help the other to understand, my understanding is also getting better. Lilita is typing A in the chat box. Nice. My understanding is getting better when I try to help the other. Vaishali is typing A in the chat box. So all of us can see that when we help the other to understand, my understanding gets better. But on the other hand, we can also see that when we try to understand in isolation, when I try to learn myself, I take more time to understand. When we oppose or misguide the other, then I am also getting misguided automatically. And we can also see whether this B and C are naturally acceptable, especially C. When we try to oppose or misguide the other, if that is naturally acceptable to me and to the other also. When the other understands that I am trying to misguide or oppose him or her, what would be his response to this? So we can think of this. So collaboration or cooperation is what we are discussing about. That is good than this competition. Yeah. So this is what we discussed with regard to the feeling of collaboration, excellence against this competition. Now, if there is any more sharing with regard to this excellence or collaboration or cooperation, we can take them. Else we will go to the next feeling, which is reverence. I would like to know if there are any students joined over here. They can respond if they are available. Mics are given to many of you. Okay, you can put your message in the chat box also. Yeah, Rengnaji, namaste. Your mic was unmute.
Sir, hello.
Yeah, namaste. I can hear you.
Sir, namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Very good, very good.
Good, sir. Just my bus late, sir, to reach home. A little bit late, sir, to join.
Okay,
No
okay.
question, sir. Just I joined.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
You were there the whole day in the FTP also, I could see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. From morning 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and then we have some meeting here. Okay,
Yes.
sir. Thank you. Thank you. Good night, sir.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you, Rengnaji. Let us
thank you very much, sir.
okay. We can discuss about this reverence part. So we have taken some time for this excellence versus competition, maybe a couple of Wednesdays. It is because this is very important in the educational scenario, in the higher education as well as school education scenario. This is having very much relevance. That is why we have discussed that in detail, and there were sharing from many of us. Very nice. Now this feeling of acceptance for excellence is what we refer to as reverence. There are some people who have reached this right understanding, who have reached this excellence. Excellence is understanding harmony at all the four levels: individual, family, society, nature, and existence. So my feeling towards those people or those persons who have achieved this excellence is referred to as reverence. There are many persons. So, for example, Sributha is one among them, who has achieved this level of right understanding or level of excellence. There are plenty of thousands of disciples for Sributha. And people revere such persons because they can see that there are a lot of things to learn from that particular person. We can improve our right understanding. We can improve our competence if you become a disciple of such persons. We can see some among us in the society are like that. Some of our gurus are like that. All of us can at least make out, say, some of our teachers, maybe in schools or colleges, are like people who have achieved this excellence. So we always would like to get back to them for any of our, without any clarification required in any part of our life. I have my grandfather who was a teacher, my paternal as well as maternal grandfather, both of them. Those two persons were revered very much, because I could get any sort of help at the level of right understanding by these two teachers, by my grandfathers. So I consider them as my role models, and I have reverence for these two persons. I'm just giving some examples to you. If you can also refer back, you will be finding somebody in your life who would have guided you for sure, and who would have achieved this right understanding level or excellence level. So the meaning of excellence is also given once again in this particular slide: understanding harmony and living in harmony at all the 4 levels of being, as an individual human being, as a member of the family, as a member of the society, and as a unit in natural existence. I could see that both my grandfathers, they were living examples at their time. And all the family members admired them for their right understanding at that time. And the society, their social, say after their, or even during their teaching career, they have been working with the society also in several aspects. So model teachers like them were admired by people in the society, and they have been working in various facets in the society too. I could see both of them were not only teachers, but also were agriculturalists. They have their own agricultural lands, and the effort which they put in to produce this paddy cultivation and produce other kind of vegetables, that was also much appreciated at that time. So to all the 4 levels, how they had been working, I could see in my childhood level. So that is what I cherish even now, and a feeling of reverence is to them from my side always. So all of us would be having some persons like that in our life, to whom we have this feeling of reverence, the feeling of acceptance for excellence. Well, if there is any sharing from anybody, we can take them regarding reverence. Many times this is a term which is misinterpreted in the students' workshops also. So there were many questions on the next day of the students' workshop after we say discuss this reverence. So with examples, we try to explain this. So if anybody would like to share something, we can take them, or we may go further. So when we say this excellence is in terms of right understanding and right feeling. It is different from skill. Skill is a very, very small part of this competence. While working for excellence, learning skills is far more easy. Yeah. So what we refer to as excellence is largely this right understanding and right feeling with the other human beings and with the rest of the nature. So when we try to work for excellence, when we try to achieve this right understanding and right feeling, then it is pretty easy to learn skills. And that is why we say this value education is very much necessary. Value-based skill education is very much necessary in the current scenario. And we all are working for this in our education institutions. The skill-based education is now slowly turning into value-based skill education. So once we verify these proposals, one advantage which I see is that when we discuss the skill-based subjects in our classes, these values come automatically in that. Especially I can say in my case, sustainability is one of the particular subjects which I cover in civil engineering. So there I can easily bring in these values. And when I discuss even other subjects like say strength of materials or some other kind of subjects which are, let's say, problematic, there also I can bring in the values. Professional ethics is another particular paper in which you can bring in values very easily. There are plenty of other opportunities in which you can bring in this values into the technical education. So while working for excellence, learning skills is far more easy. So when you can connect whatever proposals we have discussed in the students workshop, in the faculty workshop, with the proposals, with the skill part of the education, it is easy to deliver, as well as for the students, it is easy to understand. This is not just a piece of information, but this is what I try to experience or try to practice in my teaching process. If anyone among us is having any sharing, you can place it. Okay. So then we will reflect upon this in such a case. Yeah. You want to be excellent or to be special? Special means different from the other. You can just respond to the chat box with 1 or 2. So if 1 is for 1 to be excellent, 2 is for to be special, different from each other. What do you want? In my case, if you ask me, I would have written 2 in an earlier case. Yeah. Srinivas Guptaji, Riyaji are typing 1 in the chat box. You want to be excellent. If you are special, there is always a feeling of ego. There is always a feeling of maybe a feeling towards competition will be there, right? Then the other wants to be excellent or the other wants to be special. What do you think? Again, you can respond 1 or 2. What about the other? The other wants to be excellent or other wants to be special. What is a want part? It is just like the question which we asked in the trust. To see trust on intention, we ask 4 questions, right? So as a consequence of the I want to be excellent, then I want to be special. What is the want of the other? Is it to be special or to be excellent? Riyaji types 1 in the chat box. So the other is also want to be excellent. So this is a consequence of this first thing, right? When I can see that I want to be excellent, I can also see that the other also want to be excellent. This is one part. This is the natural acceptance part or the intention part. The other is like me only. Vaishali is typing. We help each other to achieve excellence. Nice. Very good. So you want to jointly make effort for excellence or to compete, to be special. I can see that I want to be excellent. The other also wants to be excellent. So what is the choice? Whether you want to jointly make effort for excellence or compete to be special? Jointly. Vaishali. Nice. So which feelings are essential for teamwork? Yeah, Anuji is typing. Few people come in 1, few in 2, though we fall in 1. Okay, Didi. Nice. Yeah, this is nothing but we need to refer to our natural acceptance. So when we refer to our natural acceptance, we can easily observe that we want to be excellent. The other also wants to be excellent. and I want to work with the other, or I want to make an effort with the other for excellence and not for competition. As I have given the example of this combined study, studying together, a difficult subject at stake. If it is split into small pieces, then each student can take a small part, and if they can share with each other, that is the best way to learn things. And if there is something lacking in somebody's learning, others can complement it. So which feelings are essential for teamwork to take place? Can you put in the chat box, or can you unmute and speak? Which feelings are essential for teamwork to take place? Now we are speaking about teamwork. You want to jointly make effort for excellence. So for that, which feelings are essential? You can see those naturally acceptable feelings, whether all of them are essential or some of them. Those which are being discussed in this particular session. We started discussion about trust, respect. Then we have discussed about, Priya ji is typing, trust and respect. Mutual respect. Anuji is typing mutual respect. Yes. When we say respect, we see that this feeling of respect is there, and the feeling of respect is there in me, as well as the feeling of respect is there with the other person. So there is mutual respect. Respect is right evaluation. Gratitude, that is what PIG is typing. So when teamwork is to take place, the foundation feeling of trust will be there. The intention of every human being is same. As we see here also, you want to be excellent and the other wants to be excellent. That is, if we can see these two things, the trust and intention is there. Then we have to mutually evaluate the competence, or we evaluate the mutual competence of each other. That is what we refer to as right evaluation. So when we rightly evaluate the mutual competence, that is leading to respect. Then what about the guidance part? Is guidance part involved in teamwork? Though we did not discuss about this, that is coming. What about the care part? What about the affection? What about these feelings? Are they essential for teamwork? We can say sometimes. Essentially, essential. That's what PIG is typing. So we are going to discuss about this gratitude and love as the next feelings. But essentially, what we require to have teamwork to take place are the fundamental, the foundation feeling of trust and the feeling of right evaluation, that is respect. Others also will be there, like affection is required, care is also required, guidance is also required. Well, reference is only to those persons who have achieved this excellence. So essential feelings, I would say, they are the trust and respect. Other feelings, they are required at times. Nice, but we just need to see that the feelings are there. With every affection is there with every other human being. We can see this. Guidance. Whenever the other person requires guidance, I will be there. If I am competent, I will be there to guide the other person. I'm also ready to seek guidance from the other person when I see that I lack this competence. Which feelings are essential for taking help in understanding from the other? How do you respond to the last question? Which feelings are essential for taking help in understanding from the other or from others? Can you unmute or can you respond to the chat box? And G is typing humbleness. I would say there is willingness to learn, willingness to guide, So that is part of, yeah, creative typing guidance. Of course, guidance is required. So for taking help in understanding from others, I require for sure this trust. That is a foundation feeling. Right evaluation of mutual competence. Then only I can see that the other is having better competence than me. So I seek help from the other to improve my competence. So as Anuji is typing, humbleness or the willingness, openness to seek guidance from the other. I can see this only when I rightly evaluate the other. I rightly evaluate myself. Then I can see in the mutual competence part, my competence is less than that of the other, so I seek help from the other. So if I am in a state of ego, I may not be seeking help from the other. That is my over-evaluation. If I am under-evaluating me or the other, that is also not going to work out. Rightly evaluate. Technology is typing. Sharing and caring is showing affection and caring. Yeah. Sharing and caring. Nice. So this is a very, I would say 4 or 5 questions are very nice for the students as well as us to explore, to see regarding the feelings which we have covered so far. Trust, respect, care, guidance, reverence. Then regarding excellence. Vaishali is typing acceptance of others is excellent, or having skill in that field. Yeah, we speak about right understanding and right feeling here largely. So once we have this right understanding and right feeling within, learning skills is very easy. That is what we propose. Nice, Didi. Acceptance of other as excellent. Yeah, excellence in others. That is what we refer to as reverence. So this can be an assignment for the next week also. These 5 questions we can explore upon ourselves and explore regarding the mutual competence with the other, whether you want to be excellent or to be special, whether the other wants to be excellent or the other wants to be special, and whether you want to jointly make effort for excellence or to compete to be special, and which feelings are essential for teamwork to take place. Which feelings are essential for taking help in understanding from the others? Yeah. Now we go into the feeling of gratitude. So as we explore gratitude, to how many persons can we have this feeling of gratitude? Feeling for those who have made effort in terms of providing help in the process of my development, my excellence. I also work for excellence. I have this lack of competence. I seek help from the other with trust on intention and right evaluation. I try to do this. So to those who help me to improve my competence, to help me to improve my excellence, to reach excellence, the feeling for those is what is referred to as gratitude. To how many persons do you have gratitude? Can you say the number? Is it very few? Is it a countable number? What do you think? You can just put in the chat box to how many. Yeah, Anuji is typing uncountable. Very nice. Uncountable. That means there are some persons whom we do not know, to whom we have this feeling of gratitude. Right, Anuji?
No, it's something like there are so many things, so many people around, like where we feel that gratitude all the time. So I don't think I'll be able to count it.
Yeah, nice explorations.
So even
Very nice.
I'm like expressing my gratitude to you for making me clear with certain aspects. So I
Nice.
express my gratitude to my mother for making food for me and all that. So each and everyone whom I feel I come across in my life, somewhere here or there, I feel like I have to express my gratitude. That's what I feel.
Yes, very true. Nice. So in
Thank you.
continuation with what Anuji is telling, I can also say that this I'm using a laptop to communicate with you. I'm using a headphone to communicate with you. I don't know who has made this particular devices for me. So those persons are unknown to me. So I have this gratitude for them also. And the Zoom platform is made available to me by AICTE in CCIP. I have gratitude to many persons, someone who are known to me, someone who are unknown to me. There are plenty of such, say a meal which I have maybe in the afternoon. I don't know who has prepared that rice. I mean, who has uh, cultivated the rice for me, and the utensils which I use, who had manufactured those utensils for me. So by just purchase from the market by giving some money, but if unless somebody had manufactured it, unless somebody had cultivated the rice, I could not have had this meal. So likewise, if you just go on exploring, there are plenty of people to whom we have this feeling of gratitude. So somebody would have helped me in improving my right understanding and right feeling. Somebody would have helped me in improving my, in helping me to achieve these physical facilities. Both are there. So gratitude is there for many persons. As Anuji is typing, uncountable. That is very true. I can see that the other has a feeling of care, affection, trust in behavior with me. I can also see that the other has helped me in developing a right understanding and right feeling in me, and also has provided me with the necessary physical facility, as we explored just now. So I can say that I have purchased it by giving some money, but is that enough? Can money purchase everything? Even if it is a physical facility. If it is available, then only I can purchase. When there was this Chennai flood a few years before, people who were having this money, bank balance in the bank, a lot of bank balance, I would say, and people who are living in the street, and also street dogs, they were standing in line, maybe on top of the buildings for a packet of food, which is being dropped from the helicopter. That was the situation. So if the commodities are not available, what is the purpose of this means of exchange? That is money. Money is only a means of exchange. So unless somebody had manufactured, somebody had prepared, somebody had cultivated these things, there is no use of this money. So somebody had provided me with the necessary physical facility. And we may not be able to evaluate this, the value of this physical facility also many a times. Price you can evaluate, right? That is different. That may change from time to time. That may change from place to place. But the value, let us take the value of a pen. If I use the pen for the right purpose, for right understanding, for writing some notes, it has a value. It is participating in improving my right understanding. I use a board and chalk to improve, to help the students also to learn. So when some ideas are being conveyed by the chalk piece, when I write on the board with chalk piece, that is the value of the chalk piece. So it has a value. So every unit has a value in that sense. So I can see that the other has a feeling of care, affection, trust in behavior with me. And I can also see that the other has helped me in developing right understanding and right feeling in me. And has provided me with the necessary physical facility. So I have gratitude to all these persons who are working behind this, knowingly or unknowingly. The gratitude is significant in the development of relationship. Very important, very significant. But how many of you, how many of us and how many of our students can see this with this natural acceptance? So when we help the students also to see things through this natural acceptance, then the feeling of gratitude, that domain of the gratitude will expand. Yeah. So gratitude for all the help we receive, like we discussed in the meeting just now. Let us list down the help we are receiving from family, friends, teachers, society, related to food, shelter, etc., and nature. So how many units in the nature are providing us this right understanding, right feeling, and physical facility? So we just list down this, as Anuji was mentioning in the chat box, it will be endless. Are you able to see this? That this list is going to be endless. Let's say, make a list of needs, example, food, that you are using throughout the day. And see the people and natural environment which are immediately responsible to fulfill these needs. This example was placed just now. So in the next level, you can make a list of people who have helped in growing the food, processing it, transporting it to your place. So cultivation is not enough. The food has to be processed. So the paddy grains are not enough. We have to process it to the form of rice. Or if it is wheat, we have to process it in the form of the wheat grains finally. And that has to be transported to us. All these things are very important. A similar thread could be seen for the utensils which we are eating, machines which are used for cooking, furniture on which we sit while eating, construction of the dining hall, etc. So many things. There are so many people involved. So can you count the total number of people who are directly or indirectly involved in ensuring just one meal for you? Can money provide it if these people involved do not participate in the process? That is what I placed the example of the Chennai flood. Just an example. So we have plenty of other examples. When money cannot replace physical business. The purpose of money is to procure physical facilities. That's it. So these are some of the assignments which we can try to do for this week, apart from what I discussed earlier. So can you count the total number of people who are directly or indirectly involved in ensuring just one meal for us? And you can take it to other examples also, other physical facilities, instruments, or clothes, whatever. And you can also just evaluate whether money can provide it if these people involved do not participate in the process. So with this, if there are some sharings, we can take them. Any immediate sharing, we can take them. I cannot see any hands raised or anybody unmuting to share. And there is no more questions in the chat box also. So because it is time, we can close for the day, I suppose. So thank you so much for the participation. Thank you so much for these reflections in the chat box and with the mic. So we will continue the session in the next Wednesday also, starting from this slide. Gratitude for all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Bhaiya.
Thank you, Sunil Bhaiya. Thank you all the coursework, and we certainly continue this enriching session and course lesson together next week as well. So thank you everybody. We call it a day and see you all again. Namaste.